evening. Good evening, everybody. Good evening to and welcome to Ben's Camera Show. Episode 9. My goodness me, where have all those episodes gone? Do I really have enough in my brain to even fill 9 episodes? Not only, yes, the answer is yes. Not only that, but I have a 10th episode in me, which will be next week, and that will be my last one before Christmas. I'm having a little break for Christmas, during which time I shall prepare, I guess, season 2 of Ben's Camera Show. Hooray! I'm still at it. Well, while I'm locked down in this house, I know lockdown's finished. Oh, it says, is it me or is he very quiet? Ooh. Oh dear. Well, it's thanks to all the guys, all the people on the chat, basically playing the part of my sound person. According to my own levels here, it looks all right. I don't know. Whoa! Oh dear, that shouldn't have started. Oh my goodness, the technical problems are coming thick and fast. Right. Well, let's talk about last week's show. Last week, I did a show all about the Canon AF, the Canon 814 XLS and the Canon 1014 XLS. And my God, I kicked a hornet's nest there. I tell you what, if you're not familiar with the Super 8 community, there's only 2 things guaranteed to start a fight in the Super 8 community. One is what is the best camera, which is what I tried to say last week. Well, I didn't say it was the best. I just said it was a very good camera, the Canon. And the other is anything to do with the Wolverine scanner, which I'm going to address that on a future show. The Wolverine, and it's oh my God, people hate it. Some people hate it. Some people love it. Some people just meh. But passions go very, very strong with the Wolverine. But going back to the what is the best camera? Well, I never said the Canon 814 and 1014 were the best. I just said they're very good. I said they're the best ones that Canon made, which I think is probably true. But my God, the Bolia owners came out. The Nikon R10 owners came out. And the only people we didn't hear from were the Lycena crowd. So I'll be hearing from them soon. Look, they're all good cameras, okay? There can be more than one good camera, and it's impossible to say which is the best. Impossible, because, everyone's criteria are different from what makes a good camera. Is it just the lens or whatever? So can we call a truce on that, please? I don't want to have to get into any more any more rows on the internet. Because tonight we're going to talk about something very close to my heart called Caffeinol. And before I even do that, let's see what I've been up to this week. Let's see what have we got here. What I did this week was let me get into my box in the corner here. And bye. And hello. Whoa. I'm somewhere else. Hey, here I am. Right. This week, I'm not going to beat around the bush. This week, I tried to develop this, which is called Movie Chrome, made by Boots. Now, I had a really great success last week with the Black Box Movie Chrome. And I will be trying other ones other black box ones in the future. But this time I thought I'd go back in time a little bit, a few years before they made the Black Box Movie Chrome. And that's the Orange Box Movie Chrome, which came before the Black Box. So I'm already on shaky ground, trying to develop even earlier Boots film. And let's see how that came about. So wait, here's the Black Box stuff. Just so if you missed last week, I developed some of this, and it came out really well. Okay, this was made in like the late 80s. And then what I did was I shot some of this Orange Box stuff, which is this. And I thought, well, that was my Black Box success. Great success. Okay, So brilliant. Let's put me in the side here. Let's see how the orange box turned out. Now, I made a couple of, I guess you could call them cardinal errors. Firstly, this stuff is old. And secondly, I went some very dark and dingy places to film. It wasn't sunny, it was overcast. When I developed it, I used tired chemicals, which is not a good idea. I mean, can you see anything going on here? This is even after a whole bunch of Oh, I should pause this because I'm going to talk about this in a sec. Even after a lot of post, I don't know what they call it, image color correction. This is all I got. I mean, this film was damn near clear. Bit of a sad moment there. So what I did, I shot, this was a digital picture of some houses near me. And I tried to do that in the, trying to find out all the different f-stops. And even at the top f-stop, that's with the sun filter on. Even the top, even f1.8 or whatever it was I used, you can barely see anything. So I don't know, either this film has gone to such a low ISO that it's like ISO 5 or 10, or I screwed up the developing. Probably a bit of both, really. That's Highgate Cemetery. Those people, even this film's deader than those people. That's Waterloo Park. I have to tell you what this is because I mean, really, it's so muddy and horrible. So I'm gonna think twice before shooting any more of this orange box stuff. However, the reason I got this film was that it was inside a camera I bought. Hooray! An inside a camera film means that someone else has shot the first half of it, and I'll be showing you later. I actually had more success developing the film that someone shot like 30, 40 years ago than I did shooting the stuff that I just shot. Probably because they shot it in the sun. Well, we'll see later. I'll show you what it is. But before I get into the whole Caffenol business, let me show you the camera that this film came in. Hooray! Whoops, not those guys. What I found this camera in was this. Oh, nitrile gloves. On with the gloves. I need glove music, really, don't I, for this? Mind you, if I had to cue up glove music as well, that's it's just another thing to go wrong. I got it in this. It's a Halina PS200. Oh, let's get the title on there properly. There you go. It's the Halina PS200 RD. A very, very simple camera and a fun one as well. I've talked about this in previous films I've made, the Halina, but it's I'll talk about it again. You can go to my YouTube channel, Zero Budget Film School, and see about the Halina. But I just want to talk about this briefly. It's got a fixed handle, it's got a fixed focus, and it's got an unlock button, and it works. Let's get the camera, let's get the extra mic on here so we can hear the motor. Oops, I've locked it. There we go. It is the epitome of point and shoot. The only thing you have to worry about is you need a battery here, PX13 for the auto light meter, and yeah, it doesn't even have a cartridge detector. So basically, you're shooting it. I think it's stuck on 40 ASA. This is for Kodachrome back in the day, and nice sunny days. Footage counter, just point, shoot. Let's hear that again. It works. It works, and it's a lovely camera to grab if you want to shoot something like a wedding or something. I've actually shot this at a wedding. I use this at a wedding, and it's great. You just strap it to your ankle, and then when everyone brings out the toasts and everything, you get it out. The only thing that's interesting about this camera is that it's got a daylight filter, and as usual, it's a difficult daylight filter disengage, you have to press down this little button here on the top. In fact, you can see, when I press that down, you can see right in there, see the middle of the, it's kind of orangey. Press this. Right. There it goes. It comes in and out. Okay. Oh, it came out. Okay, let's push it in and then show you. Okay, so that's without the daylight filter. And that's with. You see that orange thing there? Let's get it closer enough. Closer as well. We'll be getting onto the Caffenol in a minute. There we go. In, out, in, out. Now, you don't want to have to walk around with a sticking a biro in the top of your camera. People will think you're weird. They probably already think you're weird for going around with a Super 8 camera. If you have the hand strap, which normally screws into the bottom here, this is not for carrying the camera, by the way, these hand straps. They're for putting around your wrist, just in case you drop the damn thing. Okay, so, whoa, dropped it, and that's all right. So what happens is, if you were to get this hand strap with this screw on it, you take it off, you can screw that into the top, and watch this. As I screw it in, look at the orange thing in the very center there. Screw it in. There it goes. It goes away. That's how you get rid of your daylight filter. You have to go around with, well, usually it's just a screw, but in this case, it's a whole handle sticking out the top. Looks faintly bizarre. That's the Halina. We will be getting to some more cameras later. I know that there are some camera fans out there. But firstly, a little bit of housekeeping here. I have a website. Hurrah! Finally, like 9 shows in, I've gone and made myself a website. So it's called zerobudgetfilmschool.com. So if you've enjoyed the show and if you want to check up some of the things which I've been talking about, and if you want to watch past shows on the next show, there's the website. You see this, there's the next show. Here's all the shows I've done so far. Don't have to go to YouTube, even though the shows are actually streamed on YouTube. And then down here, we've got the gallery. Here are all links I'm going to be talking about tonight. So if I talk about links, you can just go straight to the website, zerobudgetfilmschool.com, and look at that. I've got a little gallery here of some Super 8 pictures. That's about my workshops and training. I'm not doing those right now because COVID. Next year, maybe. Live training. And then some links to other film tips and about me, a bunch of lies. And at the bottom, you've got all my Twitter and Facebook and everything. It's a simple little website. Who goes to websites anymore, even these days? Still, you've got to have a website. And then now I have a website. Hooray! I've joined the digital revolution. Right. So, Ben Reynolds says, protecting your favorite brand is very important to photographers. Important. Yes. I've been looking at, what's that guy's name? Digital Conspiracy or something? His Analog Conspiracy. There's a great YouTube channel. This guy just slags off cameras like there's no tomorrow. The Halina. Let's get back to the Halina. If you want to buy one these days, how much are you going to be spending here? £8? Not bad. $5.99. This black one, by the way, is just like the one I just showed you, except it's got a zoom lens, a 2x zoom lens. Wow! Don't bother trying to get any paparazzi shots with a 2x zoom lens. You might as well walk forward 3 steps. £8, £20. That's a different Halina. There's a nice box that it comes in. £25, £35. I think that's a little overpriced. I mean, it's a really cheap. It's a really, zero function, zero featured Super 8 camera. $2.99. I mean, you can get these. Oh, that's the instruction book. Okay, fair enough. You can get one of these for 20 quid or less. Though, to be honest, if you've got 20 quid to spend on a Super 8 camera, I would get a Umig Mini 5 because they're great. Right. That's enough. That's the website. That's the Halina. We've got a guest coming on later. We've got Manuel Salazar, who is a Super 8 enthusiast from across the pond, from America. And he's going to show us what he's been up to. Let's get that ugly thing off there. Actually, I do need that because we're going to talk about Caffenol today. Okay. Right, that's the opening bit done. Let's just switch that off. Right, Caffenol. Caffenol. Let's put me up on the full screen. Whoops. Oh, that was Manuel. There we go. Right, Caffenol. Now, I want to tell you a story about Caffenol. I'll have a drink first. Mm. Looks just like water, doesn't it? I make that joke every time. I heard Michael Aspel make that joke. UK Airsoft, love the show. Thank you, UK Airsoft. One of my biggest fans over there. Right, we're going to talk about Caffenol. Now, what is Caffenol? Caffenol is a photo developer. It's a black and white photo developer, as the name suggests, and as my little background here suggests. You use coffee in it. And when I tell people, oh yeah, I developed my own film, I develop it in coffee, they go, what? Coffee? No one's actually made that noise now. I have to make that noise when I say I make it in coffee. What? People just sort of slowly edge away from me at that point. Never mind, their loss, because Caffenol is great stuff. And you might be thinking, in fact, not only you may be thinking, but some people have even asked me, well, what's the point of Caffenol? What is the point? You can buy D96, you can buy Ilford LC29, you can buy Rodinol, you can buy Dectol, you can get all sorts of black and white developers just online. And all you need to do is to pour a little bit of it into a beaker and add some water, and you're away. Caffenol's kind of different. Caffenol, okay, I've got some pros and cons of it, but let's firstly talk about what it is. It's not just coffee. You can't just dunk your Super 8 into coffee. Don't be silly. It is, in fact, coffee, something called washing soda. In fact, let's get the ingredients up here on the screen behind me. I'm going to go to my corner again. Ideas above my station going in there. Right. Okay, it was invented. Let's go back to the start here. It was invented, or not invented, but it was discovered by this guy in the top left corner there. His name, I'm going to refer to my notes here. Oops. Let's switch off the overhead camera. You don't need to see that. His name is, maybe was, Dr. Scott A. Williams, PhD, of the Rochester Institute of Technology, RIT. Rochester. He was teaching a class in 1995, technical photography. Now, anyone who knows a little bit about film knows that Rochester is where the Kodak plant was. And it's very possible that the RIT, the Rochester Institute of Technology, was in fact a sort of photography-oriented institution. I'm not sure, but that's the guy we're talking about up there on the top left, with the coffee cup. Some people have said that coffee cup should be in the Smithsonian because it's a piece of movie history. And he did some I don't know. He set his class. Him and his class basically looked into the possibility of a homebrew film developer, utilizing coffee as an organic agent and sodium carbonate, which is an alkaline powder, which they otherwise known as soda, washing soda, or as you can see behind me, soda crystals, and vitamin C. Now, I'm not a chemist. I'm not going to tell you. I'm not going to pretend I know exactly what the chemistry of it all is. But if you mix coffee, instant coffee, sodium carbonate, and vitamin C together in certain proportions, which I'm going to tell you, of course, then you have a working developer. And that's for and water, of course. What am I talking about? Otherwise, it would just be powder. I think we can all we can all do this much. Now, the classic. Here is the recipe PDF, which the picture which comes up on a lot of Caffenol blogs and everything. This is a one-sheet Bible here of the very basic standard start recipes for Caffenol. There's Caffenol CM, Caffenol CH, Caffenol CL. That's these three. I've never made CL. But CM is the base recipe. 54 grams per liter of washing soda, 16 grams of vitamin C, and maybe 1 gram of potassium bromide, and 40 grams of instant coffee. Now, let's see how much all that stuff's going to set you back. Because one of the pros, one of the best things about Caffenol is how cheap it is. It is dirt cheap to make. Let's have a look. Oh, here we go. Now then, what have we got here? Vitamin C, £3.74 for 100 grams of it. 100 grams. That'll get you 6 or 7 liters of caffeinol. What else we got here? Potassium bromide, $2.99 for 10 grams. That's good for 10 liters. And let's see what else. For coffee, instant coffee. Nothing cheaper than instant coffee. Let's have a look. How much instant coffee costs. This was today I filmed this. This was at the Lidl. £1.39 for 200 grams. That's only 69p per 100 grams. Dirt cheap, and you're not going to drink it. So that's also a benefit. Because you can't go and make like really nice coffee, like really like hardcore coffee, and think like, this is going to develop the best possible pictures just because this is like the really proper mocha stuff. Doesn't work that way. You need the crappy instant stuff because there's something called caffeic acid. You know how instant coffee can taste kind of sharp and acidic and kind of nasty. That's what you want. Use the caffeic acid. You use the sodium carbonate, which will bring down the pH to an alkaline level. That's your soda crystals there. Now, one thing to be careful. Sodium carbonate is dirt cheap as well. Watch out. Look at the back of the packet that you get. This is what you get in the UK. Look at the back of the bag and look at the ingredients, because there we go. Sodium carbonate decahydrate, it says that. Careful. Warning. Decahydrate means it's got 10 water molecules attached to the sodium carbonate. You don't want that. You want this stuff. Oops, no. Going ahead of myself here. You want anhydrous sodium carbonate, which means no water. Thing is, it's not a disaster if you buy decahydrate like this stuff, because all you have to do is to multiply the amounts by 2.7. So for the 54 grams of washing soda, it says here, notice it says water-free underneath. That means anhydrous. For 54 grams of soda times 2.7, I've done the maths for you. That's 145.8 grams. That sounds like a lot, but it dissolves. It dissolves. And so make sure, I mean, some of my early caffeinol videos, I've been using this stuff without paying much attention to the fact that it's decahydrate. So bad Ben for that. There's actually bad information going out on some of my old videos, but I didn't know what I was doing. You gotta give me some slack there. In fact, let's have a look at all the stuff you're going to need in order to make this stuff. So here's some films that I tried developing. This was back in the early days when I was doing all my filming on that table with that silver thing behind. So yeah, I tried it on some Ektachrome, I tried it on some Boots, I tried it on some Svema, which is what this is. Don't worry, that was a dummy one, just to show you. But yeah, so okay, I got the soda crystals, I got the vitamin C, I got water. Try not to use hard water, I guess. I got one of these things. I got a big one of those things, a developing tank. You see, if you don't have a Lomo spiral, there's my yes, there's the Bible there. You need Fixer, of course. You don't really need Stop Bath. You really don't. It's Stop Bath is well, I mean, okay, yes, you do need Stop Bath, but if you're gonna go cheap, then all you need is the soda crystals, the coffee, and the vitamin C. You need some Fixer. You do need Fixer, although you can go cheap with the Fixer. Even there are other things you can use. I'll go into that in a minute. Okay, here are some things I used for reversal developing bisulfate, sodium metabisulfate, some potassium permanganate. That was for making the reversal bleach. I might go into that later. But here's what that's all the stuff you're going to need chemical wise. And you know what? You can get a a full liter of this stuff, and you can make it for like, I don't know, I think probably for 1 liter costs you about £1.50. And if you use one of those developing tanks, you can actually just pull the Super 8 straight out of the cartridge in a dark room or in a changing bag, stick it into one of those Paterson developing tanks, and then chuck your Caffenol straight out into the top of it. So what I'm trying to say is that Caffenol is a very good developer for people just starting out. That's how I started out. It's cheap. There's not much outlay involved. Petco Lordenough says Paradinol is cheap, not Caffenol. Oh, come on. Caffenol is pretty damn cheap. I mean, if you can't afford like £1.50 per litre for this stuff, then what are you doing? But it's not just the cheap. It's the availability of the ingredients. Now, I know that some people out there are unlucky enough to live in a country where you can't get the developing ingredients. You can't get it. You can get coffee though, and you can get washing soda, calcium carbonate. If you can't get calcium carbonate, you can get sodium carbonate. Sodium, calcium. Oh, I'm getting my periods mixed up. Are they on the same period? I think they are. Never mind. You can get sodium bicarbonate, baking powder. You can bake baking powder in the oven, and it makes sodium carbonate. Some people go that far. You can get instant coffee. Come on, worldwide you can find instant coffee. You can find vitamin C, but watch out! Don't use vitamin C tablets like multivitamin kind of tablets. You really want the powdered stuff. That's bromide. There we go. Vitamin C powder like that. Bodybuilding websites sell it. And you can just, I mean, it's a great way to start developing if you don't have much equipment. All you need is a light-proof room, some buckets, and some of these basic materials, plus Fixer. That's a point. But okay, all right, I might as well talk about Fixer now. Fixer is very important. Fixer, you can buy a bottle of Ilford Rapid Fixer for about £10 in the UK, and that'll make 5 litres. And a litre of Fixer, you can use it over and over. So it's not super expensive, Fixer. Some people have been experimenting with boiled onions because Fixer contains thiols. Here's a tongue twister for me. Fixer contains thiols, and so do onions. And sometimes people make a sort of an onion stew and filter it and try and use that as Fixer. Other people use salt, apparently, sea salt. Sea salt is, in fact, very, very concentrated salt solution will, over the period of about 24 hours, will fix your film. It's a big pain. Just get some Fixer. Just get some Ilford Fixer, and you'll be fine. Let's see what you have to do. Well, this was back in the day when before I had a Lomo tank. And yes, the Lomo tanks are difficult. So I bought on eBay someone whose dreams had collapsed, selling an entire darkroom kit for £40. So I bought that. Had a couple of Paterson tanks in it. Had various things. So here's there I am dissolving the coffee, the vitamin C, and the carbonate, sodium carbonate. It's best to add the coffee or dissolve them all separately and add all the liquids together. If you try and add everything in one and then stir it all up in water, you're going to have a bad time. There's going to be some problems. So there's your Caffenol that I've just made there in an apple juice bottle, some stopper in a mayonnaise bottle, and some Fixer. Now this was back in the day. I made 2 liters of this stuff because my Paterson tank was enormous, and that's me making 2 liters of Caffenol. Doesn't matter. 1 liter is usually enough. You can do a whole roll of Super 8 in 1 liter of Caffenol if you're careful about it. That's me making some bleach, not like floor cleaning bleach, but film bleaching bleach out of potassium permanganate and sodium bisulfate. I've made films. In fact, the images you're seeing now are basically from old YouTube films of mine. So go back and have a look at those. Just remember about the sodium carbonate decahydrate and use 2.7 times. So what's the benefit? Oh, there's your Lomo tank if you really want to go for it. 15 minutes, I say there. 15 minutes is your starter timing for developing a negative, Super 8 negative. If it doesn't look, if it's too dark, scale that back to like 10 minutes. If it's too light, if it's almost transparent, then it's underdeveloped. You haven't developed enough, and let it in for longer there. That's me just doing the bleaching session. Now, this is a reversal, obviously, I was doing there. Reversal processing being, of course, the way you can get a film that you can project in a projector, as opposed to negative processing, which is, of course, just gives you a negative, which you can then scan or film being projected and then scan on reverse on Adobe Premiere, whatever software you've got. So yeah, if you don't have a Lomo spiral, you can do it. This is called spaghetti style, where you just put the film into there. It pretty much gets covered in all the chemicals, and then you got to untangle it and hang it up to dry. So that's Caffenol. Caffenol also is slightly safer to handle than some developing some developers. It has less impact on the environment, doesn't have chloroform in it, doesn't have formaldehyde in it, doesn't have ammonia in it. And it's a good basis for DIY film experimentation. There's a big Caffenol community out there, and let me tell you, people are doing all sorts of things with Caffenol, variations, finding different effects on Caffenol. That's just the film being hung up to dry there. In fact, while we're at it, Beerol is a thing that's made with beer instead of coffee. Wineol, I'll let you guess what Wineol uses instead of coffee. That is got wine. Daniel Leatherdale says, I haven't got a film developer tube. Can I just use a bucket in a dark room? Yes, you can, Daniel. You can use probably best to get a black bucket with a lid just in case. And yeah, go for it. Some people go into a dark room and they get into their cupboard. They get into their clothes cupboard and do it all in there. I pity the clothes that are in there in that cupboard if they've been doing that. But hey, it works. Anyway, back to the different variants of Caffenol. So I said Beerol, Wineol, Beetrootol, obviously using beetroot juice. Something called Ajvarol, which uses chutney, of all things, chutney. And there's something called caffeine, which is a two-step where you put the coffee, the liquid coffee in first, and then you put soda and vitamin C in afterwards. I'm not sure what that's in aid of, how that helps, but try it. Have you noticed the common denominator of all these things? Caffenol, Wineol, Beerol, blackcurrantol, chutneyol, whatever. The common denominator is that it's an organic. You need an organic component of your developer. You need to have something alkaline, that's the sodium carbonate, and you need something organic. So some people use cut grass. I think am I thinking of home brewing? Yeah, someone used toilet paper once. They fermented it and made homebrew toilet paper. But hey, Shitol, use copyright Ben Slotover. Try toilet paper. Who knows? Maybe in the season 2 of Ben's Camera Show, when I'm really running out of ideas, I'll develop using toilet paper. Oh God, I made myself laugh just saying the word toilet paper. The things you do during a pandemic just to have a laugh. So there are many online resources. Let me get back to my corner here. That you can look up. There's the Caffenol cookbook. There is the caffenol.blogspot.com. All these links are on the website, zerobudgetfilmschool.com. There is what is this? This is caffenol.org. where he talks about Birol. This was, I think it was Caffenol.blogspot.com, a guy called Reinhold G. Unsung hero of film developing. He's a great guy. He's done all sorts of Caffenol experiments. And yes, you can do it. You can develop photo paper. I know I concentrate on a lot of Super 8 stuff here, but you can use Caffenol. You might have to look up what the particular recipe is, but you can develop photographs, like as in paper photographs with this in a darkroom. So it's very, very versatile. Caffenol has basically developed anything I've thrown into it. It has a few cons. One is that it only does black and white. Yeah, there's no color Caffenol at the moment. It will pick up traces of silver halide if you're worried about pollution. One thing you can do if you've got Caffenol that's had film developed in it and it's got silver halide in it is you put a bit of steel wool into it, which apparently will soak up the silver. How about that? If you're really, really careful about disposing of it, I don't know, if you're worried about, you know, the ingredients, the chemicals, whether they're harmful or anything, Caffenol can pick up all sorts of weird stuff. So it's hard to find a really proper. There's no Caffenol bucket down at the recycling center. Or you can do what I do and just flush it down the sink. Problem solved. What else? Graininess. Some people have said it's a bit grain. It creates a bit of grain. That's possibly true. Can't really comment. It's. I mean, look, I'm not a stranger to grain, and I don't really mind grain. UKS says it's very, very messy. Yes, it is. It is. It gets everywhere. Don't get it on your clothes. Wear an apron. Wear old clothes if you're using Caffenol. It's mucky stuff. And some people complain about the smell as well. It kind of smells like latex glue to me. Not such a bad smell, really. I mean, it's not. I've smelled worse things in my life. Right. Now, we've seen the process. We've seen the formula for Caffenol. Now let's look at some results. Let's see what kind of results I've been getting with Caffenol. And remember what I said, that this is not only the very basic. I've gone too far. I used the very basic Caffenol recipe on this. KBr, potassium bromide, by the way, causes it gets rid of the fog, which is great. It's good stuff. If you're using expired film like old Kodachrome, which we're going to see here now, then it's I didn't use any potassium bromide with this, but it's good to stick a gram of that in there. This is the very first time I ever tried to develop Kodachrome 40 in Caffenol, and it worked. You'll see a lot of this brown and blue. The brown, when you saw that was the negative, the color of the negative. It will bring your negatives out in a nice brown. And when you reverse that, that's the negative. When you reverse that on a computer, the yellowish brown will turn to blue. So I guess, you can desaturate it and make it just plain black and white. But one thing, if you ever see someone's made a black and white film and it's all kind of blue tinted, it's probable that they have used Caffenol. I had to jam the contrast way up to get that kind of effect. Also, I left a load of Remjet on the film, and I solarized it because why not? Just to make an effect. And yeah, it's it worked. That's all right in Kodachrome 40. Here's some Svema 50 processed as a negative, 15 minutes. In Caffenol. Looks all right, actually. Although I've heard that Svema actually is a better as a reversal than a negative. You'll see in a minute. I did Svema and I did Fomapan. You'll see Fomapan in a second. But comment. Better your negatives go brown than your trousers. True. Although sometimes, as you can see, you can tint it. Sometimes I've come out of a for development with brown negatives and trousers. So yeah, 2 for the price of 1. So you can tint it all different colors. That's just on a computer, of course. It's nice to tint it back into the kind of Caffenol, into the color it was as a negative. Here's my Fomapan reversal process. Now, Fomapan R100, R stands for reversal, and it looks a lot better as reversal than it does as negative. If you've developed Fomapan or Svema as a negative, it can be very, very, very dark and dense. And I had to, the only way I could get the negative image was to shine a 150 watt projector bulb through it and film it with my DSLR on like a really, really high setting. But it actually kind of looks pretty good as negative. This is Fomapan as negative. Like I said, you're supposed to do it. You're supposed to bleach it if you really want to see through it. Side by side there. So yeah, negative looks good, but like I said, there's issues with reversing it with developing a Fomapan as a negative. If you can't telecine it, then you're in trouble. Now that's Fomapan as reversal there. I did a little time lapse and developed it in Caffenol. You see, if you reversal develop something, you often get a lot of flecks and scratches and bits and pieces on the film, which I mean, it seems to be kind of unavoidable. I've been developing film for about 7 years now, and it still picks up dust and scratches. Okay, Kodachrome 25 standard 8. This is with Caffenol CL. This is with the potassium bromide, and it looks great. I mean, it's probably gone down to like 20 ASA or so. So right in the sun. That's at the zoo. I didn't go to Australia or even Africa. And that was standard 8. And it came out a lot better than I can expect, seeing as it's Kodachrome 25, which is like, I don't know, God, it's about 50 years old by now. Don't use Kodachrome 2, but Kodachrome 25, if you if you open up your iris all the way, it can look good. Now, oh yes, Adrian Cousins, God bless him, has he tinkered with Caffenol and he made something, this high contrast Caffenol for reversal developing. He says he doesn't bother with the Remjet removal bath anymore, so just so you know. So yeah, high contrast Caffenol. It's got a whole bunch of other stuff as well as sodium carbonate. It's got potassium thiocyanate. It's got potassium iodide in it. It's got sodium hydroxide in it. You can get all this stuff on eBay, by the way. And it's got 2 different developers, the first developer and the second developer. Now remember that. You do a first developer. I'm going to go through the whole process of how to develop later, but you develop, then you bleach, then you re-expose the film to light, and then you develop again, then you fix. That's reversal developing. That will give you a film that you can project in a movie projector. It won't give you negative. It's a lot more steps, a lot more hassle, but it's great if you do it with if you do a Caffenol reversal with and do it really, really, really properly. In fact, we're going to see that now. Let's have a look at what Caffenol reversal looks like. There we go. Look at, whoops. So this was Kodachrome 40. Old Kodachrome 40, developed reversal with Caffenol. Yeah. I know it's got sparks and bits on the picture, but damn, it looks good. I got to say, this is as good as Kodachrome 40, as good as I ever got it, really, as a Kodachrome reversal right here. Lovely stuff. Big pain in the bum to develop, but look at that. Now, look, this is okay. I'm really getting into the nitty gritty here, but you notice how Adrian Cousins' recipe had 2 different developers, a first developer and a second developer. Well, I was too lazy to make the second developer. I thought, well, what's it? Who needs 2 different developers? I'll just use the first developer again as a second developer. If you do that, then you get this. You get this yellow tint, and I've been trying to work out why. And I'm not a chemist. I got an N for my chemistry A level, believe it or not. What a waste of time that was. But yes, here's using the second developer, and when it goes yellow in a sec, there, see, that's using the first developer. It makes that amazing gold wee color. Someone say better. Oh, that's all sort. My God, it's really taken off on the chat here. So yeah, so be warned if you are going to reversal develop with Caffeinol. If you want this kind of nice sort of monochrome, then you need to make two different developers. If you reuse the first developer, you get this. In fact, I think I've got here a. Here we go. Yeah. So never mind that it's silent and sounds. But you see on the left side, that's when I've used the first developer as the second developer. And on the right-hand side is when I've used the first developer and the second developer like you're supposed to. And yes, Carl, the results are consistent and repeatable. Just follow the instructions. I've always maintained that if you can cook, you can develop. And if you're good at developing and following the recipes and doing it all properly, then it actually improves your cooking ability. And you might end up with some coffee making skills as well. So yeah, Kodachrome 40, dirt cheap. And now I tried a push developer here. I left it in the Caffeinol for 2 hours. I filmed in Telecine with 150 watt lamp. I can't talk. Yes, the Telecine that. So here we go. This is amazingly shot at night on Super 8 and pushed for 2 hours, this is what happens when you leave it in the developer for a long time. You get the contrast goes all the way up, and what you see here. Carl says, "Oh Lord, I can't cook." Come on, mate. Everyone, yeah, just you'll start develop some film, then you'll learn how to cook. You'll learn to cook in all manners, all senses of the word. Breaking Bad. So yeah, this is a lovely footage. I just want to show you this. This was filmed in a dark cinema. This is in the Cinema Museum. Bunch of lovely old geezers have this thing, or had this thing every year called Super 8 Day, where they would all get together at the Cinema Museum and show their old Super 8s, really old Super 8 that, and then just have a good old Super 8 natter. And there was me filming them watching films that they had done. The Cinema Museum, by the way, cinemamuseum.org, I think, I'm not sure, in London, it needs your help. During COVID, they couldn't put any shows on. Very sad. And they need help to carry on. So do your fellow film people a favor and contribute to the Cinema Museum. It's an amazing place, and it's constantly under threat, and they constantly need money. And it's absolutely a gem in London. It's a great, yeah, it's blue. I know, it's gone blue. That's because I just did a straight reversal. Obviously, I like the color blue. My film's blue, my shirt's blue, my nitrile gloves are blue. I didn't design the nitrile gloves, but what the hell. So that was like late at night on Super 8 on foam pound only 100 SA, and I pushed it all the way to hell. And that's the results you get there. And while we're at it, I'm going to show you something. I missed this before. Not that again. Oh yes, well, okay, here's what looks good if done by someone who knows what the hell they're doing. This is Adrian Cousins. Oops, too much sound there. He developed this. This is Tri-X, which he reverse developed in Caffeinol, and oh my god, it looks great. It looks great. Tri-X, it looks as good as developing in anything else. I'll just zip through this. Yeah, can't complain. I'll be right there. Yeah. Beautiful. Beautiful, like everything Adrian develops. I mean, Jesus, I'm jealous of his success. But you too can be can aspire to be as good as this with the developing. That was Tri-X. Lovely development there. Thanks for that, Adrian. And before we move on, I'm going to show you something cool. I forgot to show you this earlier. When I did the orange label, the horrible boots, this stuff, of course it had Remjet on it, and this is the only thing good that came out of this horrendous developing job I did. The only good thing is that I worked out a new way of getting rid of Remjet. How do I do that? Well, wiping Remjet off is a huge pain in the ass. Remjet's just disgusting stuff. It's on the film like that. So what I did, I put a newspaper and then a wet towel, a scrap of wet towel, which I'm going to throw away anyway, on top of a chair. And then I did a bit like a dental floss. I just wiped it, pressing down onto the wet towel like this. And you can see the Remjet, the disgusting Remjet coming off the back of the film there. And it's really quick. You can actually very quickly just wipe through a whole bunch of film. See, look at that. Just wipe it on the back. It comes right off. And it's great because you don't have to hang the film up and then try and wipe it and pull it down and have it fall on the floor like always happens with me. No, it's a simple job. I'm going to be doing this again. You can press down as hard as you need to because it's on the base layer. So yeah, don't tell me I never tell you anything. It's it's a great Remjet removal process there. So that's a little tip. Someone said, Ben says, going to try it on FOMA R100 Triax and Kodachrome. You go for it, mate. Just watch out with the FOMA R100. Like I said, it's if you don't reverse it or if you don't bleach as a negative, it's going to be very dense. It's going to come out almost black, and you think there's Remjet on it, but it's not. It's just you just need a bleeding searchlight to get through it. So watch out for that. Your telecine can throw up problems. Okay, right. It's time for our guest. Hooray! Let's unmute him. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to bring on a friend of mine I made on this very show. A guy called Manny Salazar, who is from America. Here he is. Now, Manny, can you unmute yourself, please? And we'll put him on here. Put him on the get me off the bleeding main screen. Oh, hang on. I can't hear him. Now I can hear something. Hello.
Hello.
Manny.
Ben. Greetings from Tucson.
Thanks. Ben. Yeah, Tucson, Arizona, is it?
Mm-hmm.
Lovely stuff. Thanks for coming on the show, and welcome to the show.
Thanks for having me.
Now, you have been. I've got some of your films here, which I've been watching. Maybe we'll watch one in a second. But you've been doing stuff on Caffeinol for a while now, haven't you?
I have. I started. Actually, I started at the beginning of this year.
Right.
I developed my first film on January 1st, and it took me a little bit to actually get everything because I got the Lomo tank, and I wanted to see if I could get really nice clean results. So I got the Lomo, and
oh wow,
it's like a lot of the guys said in the comments section, they're tough to, they definitely have a learning curve. And I work out of a dark room, out of a dark bag, so
oh yeah,
it's a little bit tougher. Can't see what I'm doing. So
well, do you find that after a while, when you get used to it, you can almost see what you're doing once you're really kind of confident?
Oh yeah. It took. I'd say I practiced with the TIG. I did maybe like 5 or 6 practice rolls before I actually did an attempt to, to break open the cart and then start to load it up, like just actually commit to the thing. But yeah, it was. I had to practice a bit. Taking apart the cartridge for the first time, that was a trick.
Oh yeah. How do you do it? By the way, I've got my methods, but I'm interested in
I
how.
use just a bar key,
A what key?
just
Oh, oh,
a bar key, a can opener,
oh, okay. Ah, can opener. Right, right,
a
right.
bottle opener.
Yeah, yeah,
You
yeah,
know,
yeah.
it's the double sided, the one that has the rounded edge and one that has the poking edge.
Mm,
And I use the rounded edge to lift up the edges
mm.
because if you notice, like the the cartridge, it it comes under and then it overlaps and it's the seam is on the inside on
Yeah,
one side and then it's on the outside on the
yeah,
other. So
yeah.
you can tell where it is after a while, and you can slowly start to pick it apart. And then I wedge it open,
Mm.
without I watched these videos of some people taking hammers to 'em.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. What I've
It's
done is what I find is I have this kind of big knife, this kind of hunting knife, if you like, and I stick it into the very, very corner of the cartridge, like push it down with both hands so it pierces it, but not where the
right
film is, and then I just kind of lever it, and that generally
from there.
pops the side off, and then once you've got one side off, sometimes you can just tear the thing open once you've got a good.
Yeah, you can just force it and then yeah.
Yeah, yeah. In fact, I'm going to do on a future show. I'm going to do the whole disposable cartridge, not disposable, the reusable cartridge loading and Lomo loading. I'm going to do it
That's
all.
awesome.
Yeah, I'm going to try and do it all live on the show with a blindfold on, so that
Nice.
everyone can see. I can show off.
Nice. Nice. Yeah, I actually after seeing, that's the point that I've been trying to work up to is being able to do strip tests on fresh Super 8.
Mm.
You need to have a reloadable cartridge to be able to do it. I probably say I have like 6 or 7 carts that have broken,
Mm-hmm.
that
Oh
were practically brand new, and they're still sitting in the freezer, and I haven't thrown them away. I was like, well, maybe I can find something. And I saw that one vid that you did where you made the reusable cartridge. So I took the
Mm.
last few that I've done. I took them apart really, really careful, like to see if I can start to build my own reusable cartridge there too.
And build your own. Oh yeah, I know some people have said that the Agfa ones I think work better as a reloadable,
As the reloadable,
because they I think they come apart a bit easier. But you know what? That's some really serious. Like I've never actually gone. I went and bought the Russian ones, the reloadables for.
right? Well, I was just gonna reuse like an old K40.
Oh wow! Well, I mean, good luck with that.
Redo the K40. Well, because all you have to do is break the seams. Oh, we'll see.
We'll see. Yeah.
They're gonna seal it, and I don't know if that's gonna actually work, but yeah.
So here's a film you sent me. I managed to finally get the ones that you sent me. This one, you just called it Ben 2.
Oh yeah, this is
So this is Caffeinaut. Oh look, you got Ben's camera shot. That's so great.
yeah, it's my niece and my nephew there. My niece she did the graphic for it. Man. Yeah, this one was a Kodachrome 40 with regular 8.
Mm-hmm.
And of course, since it had purpose and intention, it stuck together right at the point where I wanted it to be perfectly.
Yeah, of course.
It was like, oh wow, look at that! It's and the entire roll was perfect, except just for that little spot. It was kind of.
Listen, I mean, that's what we call Sod's law, or Murphy's law.
Yep.
Yep. And was that done as negative?
I do all as negative right now.
Right.
I haven't. Next year, I'm going to start my reversal process.
Mm-hmm.
This year, I decided I was only going to do. I've been working with Caffeinol CH specifically, with all of my develops, and I've done. Well, that one was in a Caffeinol.
Sorry, yeah. I'm getting ahead here. But yeah. I found that it is. I did negative for a while first, and then after that, I sort of moved up to Caffeinaut, but I moved up to reversal. But it was very hard to find information about how to do reversal, especially with Kodachrome.
Yeah, it's I mean, nobody. haven't seen anybody really do it better than Adrian.
No,
Adrian Cousins on the
no, and
it's just gorgeous stuff that he has.
yeah, yeah.
And then how he gets on all those hover flies that are,
Oh,
man,
I
those
know, I
things.
know. I mean, how the hell do you film a hoverfly? I have no idea. In
Anybody
focus
put a
as well.
video?
In focus, a damn
Perfect
fly. I
focus.
mean, my God.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
but yeah, so I've been doing I've I saw a lot of success on the net. I started researching it about 3 years ago,
Hmm.
and I started to look into it. Started to read, how to use the Lomo tanks from Mr. Martin Baumgartner.
Oh yeah, yeah.
He was he has, and I pretty much go by his numbers.
Hmm.
He had he seemed to know really really what he was doing,
Yeah,
and
there's a few people like Martin Baumgartner, Friedman Waxmuth, Adrian Cousins. They're like the Mount Rushmore of of home
yeah,
developing.
totally. And you know who's really Troy's visual arts. He's
Oh
done some
yes,
cool
yes,
work
Troy
as well.
Walters. Yes, yes. I should.
Yeah, yeah, that'd be cool if we could get him on.
If
He would
yeah,
be
yeah, yeah.
he just had a cool video where he did a color. He had like a red and a green filter where he added color to two televisions that he had with like a 45-degree mirror, and he created a color TV.
I know, I know. He
Pretty
actually,
cool.
when I put an announcement up for this show, he commented on it. I thought, oh, well, Troy Walters commented it. It was just the letter F, and I thought, well, maybe his finger slipped. He accidentally commented an F. I hope he wasn't grading my attempts so far. Just nope, you get an F, mate. But
I doubt it.
no, no. But that's
I
true.
doubt
I mean, it's thanks to Google and thanks to, I mean, Caffeinol really is a kind of like an open source developer in that, you know,
It's great.
there's a basic recipe, and then everyone's just taken that and just run with it in various different
Yeah,
developments.
the formulations that I saw that were written like
Mm,
on the documentation that you posted earlier,
mm,
I have I tried it at 15 minutes, never worked for me.
no.
I tried it like it was definitely a learning curve,
Mm,
like a pretty long learning curve it seemed for a sec, because I had um I had about 20 rolls that were ready to develop,
mm-hmm,
that I just kept on shooting stuff, and I was like, well, I'll get to develop eventually.
mm-hmm.
And so when I got to developing, I just had a ton of footage, and so I started with the Kodachrome 40s.
Yeah.
The first four that I developed were Kodachrome 40, and I didn't compensate for the decahydrate
Oh yeah,
because
yeah,
I'm using the Arm & Hammer soda wash.
yeah,
So it's a deca and it's not an anhydrous. So
yeah,
all of my stuff was coming out. It just wasn't coming out. Some of them, there was some ghostly images that looked really neat, but not
yeah,
exactly what I was looking for.
yeah.
Until I kind of got fooled by an Ektachrome
Oh
160A
yeah.
that I developed in that with the decahydrate
Mm,
minimalized soda.
yeah.
It's 54 grams. It's the same one, exactly the same, but as the
Right.
decahydrate and
Mm,
the Ektachrome 160, it came out awesome.
really?
It was
Ah,
like the best mistake. I was like, whoa, but I got fooled
right.
because I thought it was a 140. I thought it was the Kodachrome 40.
Mm.
So I kept on going with that formulation for another
Ah,
3 rolls until I realized, oh, wait a minute, that was an E160,
oh yeah,
not
yeah,
a K40. So, but I still use that formulation for my Ektachrome 160 develops.
mm.
It's worked great,
Okay. Right.
with those timetables. That's the longest one.
Right. It is
And
surprising sometimes how when you cross process the old expired color film, how it can actually develop very quickly. I
it,
think that's what Troy Walters, his big revelation was, which was that he did Kodachrome 2, and which is
mhm.
normally just awful stuff, horrible, like very hard to get anything out of it. And he managed that in only like something like 3 minutes or something in
Yeah,
Caffeinol.
I actually I just started my Kodachrome 2 facet of my developing, and
Mm. It's
what I found success with is with the K2 is I used the same formulation for my Kodachrome 4 as the Kodachrome 40, but half, like
Ah,
straight down the half.
right.
And I've gotten really, really good results with it. I
Ah,
mean, comparably to what it was before, where it was just this dense, like milky, foggy,
right. Yeah,
crappy
yeah, yeah,
looking
yeah,
thing.
yeah.
It would turn in like I was actually getting some contrast, and I was seeing some variations within the grays.
Mhm.
So there was
The,
that one's tricky.
yeah, yeah. Kodachrome too. I don't really bother with it anymore. I mean, I have a whole bunch of Kodachrome 40, and I have one or two rolls of Kodachrome 2 in standard 8, and now I just it's not worth the trouble really, considering that you can get Kodachrome 40 for about the same price.
Yeah, I find yeah, I think they all have a I think they all have a place
Hmm,
visually. I think they can all be used, and
hmm,
I think the Kodachrome too will can find its place in there as well,
hmm,
if it can be properly developed with a usable image that isn't too distracting, that you're actually
hmm.
focusing on,
Yeah. Well, here's
you
a
know,
film. Here's a film you
the
sent
film
me.
itself.
What are we looking at here? This is
Oh, that was one of the first films that I shot on a trip to Chicago. Um, that one, it's actually the only film that I was able to salvage from my old roles that I started to shoot back in the 90s.
right.
And that one it got the reticulation from the water. There was
So you
where
did
I
it
had it stored,
in color.
it got wet.
You filmed it in color.
Yeah, that was Kodachrome 40,
Oh, okay.
that
That
developed
was lab developed.
lab developed
Right.
Kodachrome 40. Yeah,
Right. Right. Right.
yeah, back in '96.
Ah, okay.
That was '96.
Yeah. Yeah. And I've got you sent me another thing. It's just it's Bower Royal is the uh was what it was called. What's this here? Is this Coda? Is this Caffenol as well?
This is Caffenol as well.
Right.
I only develop with
Only
Caffenol.
Caff.
This is
Right.
Caffenol, the Caffenol CH with the Bower Royal C10, which is an
Right.
awesome camera.
Oh, okay.
I
Well,
think
being as this is a camera show, can we have a look at it? The Bauer.
sure.
You've
Let me see where I am at. My old Bower here.
ooh, wow. That looks like an early Super 8. That looks like sort of mid 60s, mid to late 60s. I don't...
I think so. I think this one was 72
Oh,
maybe.
70. Okay,
Like
right.
because this was the last of the line.
Yeah, it's got
I
that
think
strange.
they made the Royal 10, the Royal 10E, and then they started to change. The form factor started to change after this. They
Hmm.
didn't have this this leather and
Can
like
can you
all
hold
this
that
like this.
up to the camera? Can you hold that up so we can see it? I that's a strange little like box sort of bolted onto the side there. Is that standard or is
Oh
that
yeah,
an extra?
that's an extra. That's called that was the trick set that came with them, and they were it was usable for a few of the higher level of the your prosumer
Hmm.
models of it, and it has
Wow.
it controls the intervalometer and your fade function.
Wow.
This button is a fade. You push this in and it'll fade. It activates you. So it already has the fade. Let me see if I can get this.
Yeah.
It already has the fade here. What you
Right.
can do. It has this. This is the quick dissolve. So you can when
Wow.
you put this guy on, you can do a 72 frame dissolve.
Wow. That's like almost a foot of film. 70 foot.
It's
That's
like I think what is it, the Bolio?
yeah.
The Bolio, there's a few
That's,
other ones because the Nizos only went up to 54.
right.
They had a 54 frame dissolve. They didn't have a 72, and each one is different. No, this one's. I was very very surprised. These guys, it
Oh,
seems
we
that they have
can't quite see it. There we go.
let me see.
Yeah.
Back it up. Here we
That's
go.
better.
The lenses are really heavy, so a lot
Mm,
of times you find this loosening up a bit,
mm.
and they had one of the design flaws was the battery compartment, the thing that you would put on the battery compartment. It's pretty flimsy.
Right.
You know, it has this little plastic piece that would go into the edge here, and then you would wedge this into the side, and it was, I don't know. Where am I?
There we go. Yeah. That's the center.
There it is. Yeah. So
right. And this one's working okay, is it?
This one's working great.
Okay.
I have 3 of these just in case if I need to.
I've been there. I've tripled up on a couple of my favorite camera models as well.
Yeah, these I've been finding them pretty cheap, you know, and most of them are. I don't know if they're too big or bulky, or people just don't want to mess with them. I think they're great.
It is crazy how cheap some of these cameras are. I think people sometimes jump into Super 8 saying, "Hey, this isn't an expensive medium." You know, and then they get into how much the film costs, and then how much
and then they start to really,
then the developing.
Another cool thing about this whole series of cameras, these Bauers, they all had the Schneider Kreuznach lenses.
That's a hell of a lens.
So they all had really nice optics. You know, this one had this one's the Schneider Neo Veron, and even the little tiny cameras, the little point and shoot ones there, they have little Schneider lenses and have great optics.
Bauers.
But a neat little camera though.
Yeah, I've got some more of your footage here that you put up on. This is from your YouTube, and you're nice enough to actually write information. I love data, and you put your developing process, and that's with the Bauer. Bauer C21.
That's the Bauer C21. Right. Yeah, that one's a smaller camera. That one was the first Bauer that I got. It had it's like 12 frames, 18, 24, 32 single frame, had a manual iris control, automatic or manual. Wow. Just a rocking little camera. It's awesome.
Yeah. I should look into getting one. If I didn't have so many cameras already, I would. I do have one Bauer a friend of mine gave me, but it's broken. So I'm thinking. Oh look, there's something. Some slow mo there.
Yeah, the kiddos there.
Oh, someone's asking, what's your YouTube channel? Here's a good time for a plug.
It's Theo Manny's World.
Okay, Theo Manny's World. That's
Theo Manny's
World.
Oh,
sorry,
TIO.
Yeah.
MANNYS World.
Okay.
Theo Manny's World.
There we go. Ben Reynolds. That's your answer. Theo Manny's World. I will. Let's actually. You know what? I'm going to write it up on the chat here.
But you were talking about those little cameras, Ben.
Yeah.
This is one that kind of seems to get a little looked past.
What is that?
It's the Minolta XL440.
Ooh. Wow.
This little guy is XL400. I'm sorry. They made them in 2 models. They had this one that shows no sound, and then they had the sound version. But these things are cool, man. They have not too many functions, but it has 18 frames a second. It has an intervalometer.
Oh, nice.
It has a little intervalometer there. A single frame, and then of course it has your manual and auto exposure.
Very good.
And then it has a really like neat little macro function.
You push that thing down and it goes into macro?
It's a lens that goes over it. It's actually like its own.
Oh, it flips. It flips like an internal lens into the lens for close-ups. Wow.
That macro's in, and the macro is really nice. I didn't get a chance to send you any of the footage for this, but this one has a really nice macro lens, and man, those are.
Yeah, it's nice. It's very interesting the cameras that you find in America compared to the ones in Europe. Sometimes just the way things the companies worked out. I think like Agfa cameras were made by Minolta for the US market, stuff like that. You get a lot more Elmos in America. I think that was a lot more prevalent. Elmo.
Yeah, I'm a big. That was one of my first cameras. Was an Elmo.
Really?
The Elmo 1012 SXL.
Mm-hmm.
I still have that guy rolling around here somewhere.
Oh, look.
It's
You've got a new subscriber. Someone said on the chat already. You've excellent.
Thank you, man.
That's the power of Ben's camera show. We can oh hang on. Talking of the power of Ben's camera show, it still says Helena in the corner. There we go. Sorry, that was got your title up there on the corner.
Yeah.
There.
See, we don't get to see too many of those, Ben. Helenas. We don't get to see many of the Agfas.
Yeah, and
I don't get to.
UMIG can't. It's probably not huge though. UMIG, that's an Austrian camera company.
Oh, the UMIGs, man. That's actually that was one of my first cameras. Dude. But it's not 8mm now.
Oh my God! What? That's wow.
This is the UMIG C16R.
Wow, that's some serious. And it's got the rotating different lenses, the turret with the two. Well, it's
two lenses.
Yeah, although it's effectively it's
awesome.
3 lenses, isn't it? Because without a lens is 1 magnification, right?
Right, because here it has its fixed lens right here, which is actually one of the best ones. This fixed focal lens is super clear and beautiful. Wow. Some of these other ones, I have to take a lens spanner to, and eventually get them cleaned up and whatnot. But
well, I'm going to be doing it. I will do a show next year about 16mm. I think we're going to at least for one show. I don't have a lot in the way of 16mm cameras, but I've got a nice Bolex which I'll be bringing out. And just today, thanks to Tony Hickson, he gave me some 16mm film, some old Vision 500T, great stuff.
Right on.
That's just I think that's Vision 1 before even Vision 3.
Right.
And this comes up.
That's a VNF.
Oh yeah. And this one here's a VNF.
That's a VNF.
Yeah, a lot of VNF seems to come up secondhand. I think they must have made a lot of it for the film, for the TV people.
Right. Yeah, I picked up some. I have two big cans that I picked up as well that I need to respool into the 100-foot roll for that UMIG.
Right. Yeah. That's the thing. It's you have to spool down. Do you do it all by hand inside a bag or
inside the bag? Yeah, I have my my rewind.
I want to get one of those. Oh, nice. Yeah. I need one of those. And
those things are going expensive, Ben.
Really, the rewind.
I found those cheap, but
well, I have about
people are starting to wise up, I guess.
I have 3 or 4 old film viewers, which I might be able to just sort of cannibalize somehow and make a rewinder out of that, because it does have the rewind, the two things.
And just 16mm.
No, that was 8mm. 8mm. But
all you have to put is a different thread.
Yeah. As long as you can fit a reel onto it, then that should be fine. And lastly, before we started, you showed me something amazing in terms of it's not a rewinder. It was a viewer.
Oh yeah. Where is that?
Can we have one last look at that before I let you go?
Seems interesting.
I mean, what the hell? I mean, you have to really know your stuff. If you see that in a secondhand shop,
look at that guy.
It looks. I mean, I have never seen a viewer like that. That's incredible.
I've never either. And it's the form factor. It's super simple. You have your splice in here.
Right. And a little
all
lamp.
You use your grease pencils and your.
Right.
Yeah. As the lamp is right at the tip right here.
Oh, do you look down that thing like an eyepiece, or is it a little screen?
You do. This actually had like a foam cover that came out to probably around here.
Wow.
So you could actually rest your eye upon it. And now the foam is like there's just a tiny bit left.
Yeah. I know what happens to foam. I've seen what happens. It can be quite horrible.
Yeah,
But
it's
what company,
definitely
what brand is that? What make is that?
it's Quick Splice.
Oh, Quick Splice. Like I've got a Quick Splice tab splicer, I think.
Right, yeah, yeah. Man, they made so much stuff, and
Wow.
that's like that was HP, man.
Right. Amazing.
Hudson Photographic.
Oh, I thought it was Hewlett Packard. Some.
Yeah, that's for a second me too. Then I was like,
Hmm.
wait a minute, I need to color correct myself. Oh, you can't see it. It's
Yeah, yeah.
but yeah, that's nifty, man. I have a I like I like the viewers.
Hmm.
Like there's something about the style of each one of the viewers. Like if you look at the old 8mm ones, or it's a little screen. They almost look like buildings. There's a I don't know. It's like with the little
You
they have
mean?
everything going. I dig them.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Just the way that everything was designed back
I
then.
know, I know. And people
It's
are actually
interesting way.
they're retrofitting them now with LED lights to make them super bright as well. Some people.
Yeah, I had an idea. I think that would work pretty well. You know those the backlit projection screen plastics?
Yeah, yeah. I know that stuff.
You can replace the Fresnel
Yeah,
front
yeah, yeah.
and put a back screen lit projection
Ah,
plastic on it. And
and
I bet if you could get a strong enough light, it would just be floating in the air. You would have a totally aerial image on it, I
wow,
think.
that's a great idea.
It just haven't had a chance to get around to that yet because I actually ordered one to get to it, but it was right as COVID was starting. So they it was from China that it was going to come from, and they sent it back. They sent my my
Oh,
projection plastic back to the
wow.
manufacturer.
So
I didn't get it. So
is that what's happening now that you can't get stuff from China anymore? I mean, certain things, or is
well,
it if they
that
really?
happened at the onset
All right, the
of the
really.
pandemic for us down here, at least for me, from what I noticed,
Hmm.
because I had just gotten my Lomo tank. I got it the in December of last year,
Mm-hmm.
and so around getting around this time is when I got my tank. So
Right.
I'm almost at my year mark for for developing.
Hmm.
But yeah, it's but ever since, I mean, I just ordered some film from Japan that got to me within 2 days,
Oh
which was
wow,
awesome.
that's good.
Yeah, I could not believe it. I bought from this guy on eBay, and he was great. The rolls came in. It was Sound Super 8. I bought 8 rolls for
Ooh,
I don't know how much it was, but
Kodak
it
or
came in really nice. Hmm?
Kodak? Was it Kodak Sound
Uh,
Super 8? Or?
Kodachrome 40.
Right. A guy just
Yeah,
sold
because
me a bunch of these, which is I'm looking forward to shooting. It's Sound Agfa, Agfa Sound
dude,
Super 8.
oh, how cool, man! You know
Yeah.
what? That is one of my favorite films for Cafanel, man.
Oh yeah.
That came out with such a nice grain.
Really?
It was,
Well,
yeah, it looked gorgeous in Cafanel.
well.
That was, and I've only gotten a chance to develop one card of those.
Mm.
I didn't get to do much more than that, but I really liked it. The Remjet was a pain in the butt, man.
Oh yeah. Well, did you see
For that dude.
that thing I did with the back of the chair?
I
That
did, I
was.
did. Do you do? Have you? Since I've been doing this,
Mm.
since it's the only thing I've been doing.
Mm.
One of the tricks that I found with the Remjet is a pre-soak at 28 degrees
Oh yes, yes.
Celsius.
I do a pre-soak. I do a pre-soak on with some sodium carbonate, the soda crystals, right? This stuff right behind me.
Right,
Something
right.
alkaline. The good thing about the Agfa is that it doesn't come off straight away. I know it's tough to get off, but at least it doesn't
Extra stuff.
start. At least it doesn't just fall off the film while you're trying to develop, and then go around the film and stick on the emulsion side and all of that. It loosens it, and the alkali dissolves the whatever it is that bonds the Remjet, which sticks it. So the Remjet stays there, but it's by the time you're finished, it's pretty well wipeable.
Yeah, see, I found for me it was it was I started in winter time to do the developing,
Hmm.
and the Remjet was really hard to take off, and a bunch of my films are super dirty because of it.
Oh yeah.
And then as it started to get into the summertime, my film started to get cleaner and cleaner. And I was like, wait a minute, what's going on here? It's like, and then I started to think, well, the water temp for my pre-soaks, because I pre-soaked every single time.
Right.
And I was doing, 5 minutes. Now I've kind of worked it down to around 2 to 3 minutes, only because of reticulation with a lot of the Ektachromes. The Ektachrome 160G,
yeah,
that sucker just starts falling apart on me in no time.
Oh no, this is at A. I've got some of the Type A. This was I got this from the same guy who sold me the movie Chrome. That's Del G, who's on the chat right now. He says sounds like
very cool.
He says sounds like you might have some fun with the Agfa, Ben. Oh, I'm gonna have fun. Don't worry. But yeah, the Ektachrome G, that stuff's, I think that's very temperature sensitive. I think if you do it any more than 24 degrees, I think it starts to come off.
And any longer than, it really can't sit in liquid for longer than, like, I'd say maybe 30 to 40 minutes. So you have to be able to do your entire develop in that. If not, your emotion just starts to come off, man.
Yeah.
Like massive. But it makes for a really good picture. I really like it. As the catphenol develops, you don't get the regular orange tinge with the E160G that you get with the Kodachrome 40 or with the 160A. You actually, it looks like you've done a Rodinol or a Paradenol that who's it? Peko Yordanov was talking about in the chat earlier.
Oh yeah,
because that one Paradenol is quick. What is it? Caustic soda and aspirin. That you have to do. It just gets super hot. And you have to you can't touch the container or put them in any plastic.
Caustic soda. Oh, that's is that sodium hydroxide? I think it is. Lye, also known as. Yeah. The thing is with the color stocks.
Soda.
Yeah, I've been trying to develop them in color. The only color developer I have is ECN2 because I had some Kodak, normal Fission 3 negative Super 8s. And then it did such a good job on those. I just started throwing everything into it. I tried it at 24 degrees with Ektachrome G, and it worked.
For your Ektachrome? That was the Ektachrome, right?
Yeah. It works, cool, but man. Test strips really are the way to go. Test. So if you get your timing right, then you can usually get,
that's it.
Get an image. And
that's the thing is that you can't really be. I mean, as much as it kind of seems that you can just throw stuff together and then oh wow, I got pictures. But you have to, if you stick to your times tables, it's you can get good results almost every single time, especially if you know where your stocks are coming from.
Yeah.
If you were able to get a lot of 3 or 4 and it's oh wow, I test stripped this one at this and it came out gorgeous, you can pretty much count on the rest of those being pretty nice.
Yeah. Adrian said something similar to me. He said, well, if you really want consistency, you should buy film in lots rather than single cartridges, because one cartridge you can have one effect and then another cartridge was left in a hot car and then it's destroyed, and then you think you've got a workflow and a timing and everything right, and it turns out it was only right for that one cartridge. So
for that one cartridge, and you have to take texture. I have to. Well, now I've gotten a little bit lazier, I guess. I was test stripping every single cartridge that I was doing in order to be able to do it, and I just wanted to get to a place that was comfortable for me, where I didn't have to test strip everything.
Yeah.
Where I wanted to be able to go, okay, as long as I stick to this time, and I do my agitations are on point, and I'm not all my temps are like dead on. I can usually get pretty nice results from
you start to get a feel for it, even with expired film. And of course nowadays with computers, once you've got it in the computer, you can touch up anything you went wrong with, like you can increase your contrast and everything. Sure. That's the tweaking is the great stuff, is really useful there.
Yeah, I just got a Wolverine to be able to see a little bit better what I've been doing, because I was gonna make a scanner and I've been spending like, I don't know, like the past half year trying to learn Python
Oh wow.
to program my Raspberry Pi to
Oh, cool. You
you
can.
know to get this whole scanning thing going.
Yeah. 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 Yeah.
So that's
There was a
I
guy.
kind of
There was a guy in Florida, I think, who who would take a Wolverine and he'd like fix the sort of the design faults that it might have, and also put a better camera into it.
dude, I saw that the Hawkeye mod, man. I saw that.
Yeah.
That was a
Yeah.
cool one. But he changed everything. Like that guy,
Hmm.
he even put in a new board. Did you see that?
Oh no, I didn't. I didn't see that. Oh, I just.
Yeah, they had like a new little board. He takes the old board out. Yeah, that one's a cool mod, man. That
Hmm.
was because I mean it slows down because you know that Wolverine, the whole thing with it is it's just too much torque,
It
you know?
yeah. The
So
take up
it's just
can
too much
pull.
torque, you know? And like
Um.
people have I've seen like all kinds of people are like, "Oh, you can like have it all dump into a bucket."
Hmm.
You know, and it'll help out a lot. And then I've seen other people like at the top, like when you open up the actual case of the Wolverine to where the film is, where the
Yeah.
film plane and the guide is,
Yeah.
on the top, you can adjust the screws on the top of that Wolverine.
Oh.
You know, like
Okay.
on the where it is, if you give it like it has two screws on the right side and one on the left. If
Hmm.
you give it like two turns on
Hmm.
each one of the screws on the right hand side and then slowly start to adjust it, you can like eliminate a lot of the jitter.
Oh really?
But the torque from the motor seems to be a big problem though.
Yeah.
My Wolverine just died on me yesterday.
Oh shit. Oh dear.
Just
Mine's.
died. I went in to go in, so I'm
Oh,
still on my road to make my own scanner, so I have to
yeah.
send
Yeah.
this
Yeah.
dude in and get the
Yeah.
renewed the
I've
warranty
I've I've
because I
kind
only
of
got like 100
I think
rolls.
I've been lucky with my Wolverine. I know that some people, I think Friedman Bucksmith said has been on a campaign to stop people buying the Wolverines because his one scratches his film. Mine hasn't done that. The one problem I do have with mine is that when I do double eight, standard eight, and I use that little slitter thing to,
Hmm.
slit it, one side comes out slightly wider than the other, like by
Yeah,
maybe like a fraction of a millimeter. And
fraction. Yeah.
yeah, and it's not one of those slitters that can be adjusted that way. It's built the way it is. And one side goes through the Wolverine fine, the other half keeps sort of jamming, and it's just a little bit too
It's
wide.
like it shifts.
Yeah,
Like
yeah, 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 yeah. The
you
picture
could
goes
see your
up and
image just like
down. Yeah,
yeah,
it's
like a
more.
little
Yeah, it's more of a case that goes sort of when you play it back. It sort
oh, you
of
get the
goes up and
mhm.
down jitter. So that's yeah. I mean, I don't know. Well, I might just get another slitter that does slits it exactly right. Great. Oh,
Yeah,
listen,
it's tricky.
Manny, we've gone on for like an hour, uh,
Oh wow.
just talking, and I know we've gone on. We started at Caffeinol, and of course, the way these things go, you just move on to all the other
We
different
didn't talk about the cameras.
things. Yeah, well, we oh, show us the Bolex just to end with. I know you've got
Might
a
as well
you've got
show
a
it.
Bolex down there, and I this is on my bucket list. Oh my god, what an amazing
Yeah,
camera!
this little guy. I'm missing the eyepiece though.
Oh yeah, but that's bizarre because you load the
These,
cartridge in from the top pointing down, right?
yeah, these things are
And
so cool, man.
I mean, I don't
You like
think
load
of
it.
I can't think of a single camera that does that. Um,
No, they did it. And a lot of people don't like it because of this. Because you have like it has a prism
yeah,
that comes through,
yeah,
so you're already bending more light, so you're not actually getting the I
yeah.
don't
Well,
know.
there's loads of
It's a
cameras
it's
of
a
the
f
same.
1.9,
That's
and
fine.
I like it's super fun.
Mm,
It's very well balanced. It's very well balanced. It's when I was putting them onto my glide cam,
hmm
that the one that you have in the picture there, the chin on,
yeah,
man, that thing's just doing this. I mean, it's so top heavy.
mm.
This guy is just really nicely balanced.
It's
It has like the metal hood,
I've got
which is so nice.
some
I
pictures.
dig
Yeah.
that.
Whoops, that's the
So
chin on.
most of these you'll find them
Yeah.
with really nice lenses because it has that the
Whoops.
like the self hood.
Yeah.
And these guys, this one is the macro zoom.
Oh,
And I think I
well,
have
I've got the pictures. The
this one.
pictures you sent. But let's have a look. What you got there? I mean, look at the design of it. It's such a eye-catching design. It's an amazing. It's like not shaped like any other Super 8 camera.
It's not. It's not. It's like.
It's like
I don't know,
they
it's
went back
wicked,
to
man.
the drawing board and just, you know, from the ground up, they said, well, how can we make a camera that's like not like any other? And some people, I saw someone on the web today who said that, oh yeah, Bolex were never a Super 8 maker. They just did, you know, 60mm and standard 8. I'm thinking, well, what about this thing? This is
What are you talking about? They made some of
yeah.
the best 8mm, man.
Yeah. Well,
I mean the
super.
standard 8s, the standard
Oh, yeah.
the H8, man, that thing's
Oh my God.
ridiculous
Yeah,
camera, man.
yeah. I know that's.
It has this is pretty cool, man. It has a little titling thing that it
I'll
came
put you
with.
back on the big screen here.
I
A
don't know if you
titling
can
thing.
see
Oh,
that.
great. Yes, like the UMIG macro set. Yes,
Right, with
the
that.
titling.
So it has like a little set because this is because
Nice.
the 155 is the macro zoom, no?
Hmm.
The 160 was the one though. It has the macro, it has the 18 frames, 24, 32, single frame. The thing about the single frame though, you had to, with these Bolexes, you couldn't do it with the cable release or like a, you know, a shutter release. They had like its own proprietary Bolex little box.
Oh, okay.
Just like that, the
Yeah.
trick set for that Bauer.
Yeah.
You know, they had, that's the only way that you could take single frames. You know, that was the bummer for these guys. You know, but you had to gear up. Bolex wants you to gear up with all their Bolex gear. So.
I know. They made so much of their own proprietary gear. In fact, the other
cool stuff, man.
A few shows ago,
one thing about these cameras, Ben, that's kind of a bummer. This is the part that breaks.
Is that a battery contact?
The battery, yeah.
That's bizarre. It's got one AA on each side of the cartridge like that. Is that?
Yeah.
Oh.
See, these dudes come apart. You can actually, this is actually only just to complete the circuit now. So it's not connected to anything. So you could just put it back in, and as long as it's making contact with the battery, that sucker will run.
I had a similar situation with this Helena, which is I'll put myself back on the which is the contact sometimes it doesn't connect with the batteries very well.
Oh yeah.
So I had to make this there we go. Whoops. I had to make this little thing out of foil here, of aluminium foil, or aluminum for the American market, for the American viewers. And I had to stick that sort of on top of the batteries in order to make the connection. Otherwise it wouldn't do it. I mean, that was an easy one. That was just a single little bit of foil like that.
Just to be able to make sure that
just so that
making contact there.
There we go. See.
It's kind of what you have
the
to do
batteries
with the old,
can make the contact with that top thing. Anyway,
like how you have to do with the old light meter batteries for the older cameras. If the ones that only had that single 1.35 volt, and you had to like bridge the gap.
Yeah.
In that,
that's that's the charm of this whole film world is that there are times when you have to get creative. You have to go MacGyver, and you have to just sort of create things and you know, with your hands you have to make spare parts and workarounds and all the rest of it. I like the sort of the mental stimulation of that stuff.
It's a challenge.
Yeah, it's just an endless series of challenges. Yeah. Well, anyway, listen, on that, I got to thank you for being on the show, Manny. Thank you very much. One viewer here, Ben Reynolds, asks, my wife is asking if you've had a female viewers yet. Who knows? YouTube say that at least 1% of my viewers are female. So so I guess yes is the answer. I need more female guests. That's the thing. Ladies, I've already made this horrible appeal.
There's a ton of Latin American Super 8 ladies, man.
Yeah,
there are, man.
Bring them on.
out of Uruguay, and
I personally know there's
I got a chance to Zoom with a bunch of, and they're all experimental filmmakers, and working with Super 8.
I'm missing it. In fact, I should have mentioned her tonight, but Daggy Bruntert.
Right, Daggy, dude, she's awesome.
I know
she develops with moss, dude.
Yeah, I know. She collects
awesome.
seaweed and makes developer out of it. I've got to have her on. I've got to get her on next year. We'll definitely get her on.
Cool.
I think it's good because these sort of 10 shows I've done, or after next week it'll be 10 shows, are a kind of like a front office where if I ask people, do you want to be on the show, that at least I can refer back to, okay, look, here's some previous ones. You can see what's going on. But I appreciate everyone who comes on while I'm still an unknown quantity. But
only for a time.
Yeah, great. Well, listen, great for having you. Great to have you on.
Thank you, Ben.
Thank you, Manny.
Take care. Thank you, everybody.
And Tio Manny's World, everyone. If you want to see more of your stuff. Bye. See you. Oh, that was Manny Salazar, and that was Ben's camera show. But hang on a minute, we've got the final bit of entertainment. Where I showed you the horrible job that I did. One more time, I'm going to show you this awful job I did with the Boots orange label. Believe it or not, the first half of this orange label was still in the camera, and I developed it, and it came out a lot better than this. So that's what we're going to have for the final bit of entertainment. I'm going to show you Stranger Films, which are, I should do a whole show about Strangers footage that I've just come across in old cameras. But out of respect to the people who shot this and then left the camera with half a roll left in it, I'm going to show you what was on the first half of the roll, and luckily it came out a lot better. Let's get some different music on. Okay. Oh, that's not very... Oh, well, we'll just go with this. Daniel Leatherdale says, Manny was a great guest. He certainly was. Let's have him back sometime. I love talking to Super 8 enthusiasts because it's like fractal enthusiasm, because the deeper you go, the more crazy it gets. Right. Here we go. This is what I managed to dredge out of the rest of the Boots. Some people camping. This was developed in ECN2 for 10 minutes. And I can't say that you can apply that to every orange Boots you get. This might have just been this particular cartridge. Some people, she doesn't want to be filmed. You can tell. That guy looks like Toby Jones, the actor. Doesn't he? So, oh, get that camera off me. No, don't film me. So they're in a caravan site. I might be able to trace these people by the license plate on their car. Who knows? I don't know. Did you go to a wedding in the 70s? Are you related to Toby Jones? Maybe you're his dad. Maybe you are Toby Jones. No, he can't still look like that. Thumbs up from Toby there. Where are they going? They're all dressed up around someone's bungalow. It's no point trying to find the person who sold me this camera. It was in a job lot of a whole bunch of cameras, and I did try and chase up once before. It was a wedding. Oh, the happy couple. I hope they're still happy and still married, and I hope someone recognizes them, because good luck finding finding these people. The one time I went back to that's the end of it. The one time I went back to the seller of a camera and said, look, there was a bunch of film in it, and do you know who might have owned this camera before? Maybe I can trace them, maybe I can find it. They said, dunno, no idea. Go screw yourself. I got a real standoffish answer. They probably thought I was a weirdo, which I am, of course. But they anyway. That's the end. I mean, listen, it would be so great to to actually find some people whose footage that I've developed. But I think that if you went to the bother of filming this stuff, and you bought the film, you never got it developed, never sent it to Boots, I think it's on us really to release the people, to release the images of these people, probably long dead, that were stuck in that camera for many years. I'm going to get mystical about this now, but meh, maybe I'm just nosy. Anyway, hey guys, that was Ben's camera show, and I enjoyed it. It was all about Caffeinol. Get out there and shoot some stuff and do it on Caffeinol. I have done the numbers. I have crunched the numbers, and it is actually cheaper. Listen to this. This is your takeaway for the evening. It is cheaper to buy the ingredients to develop your own film and buy a roll of old expired Kodachrome and to buy 3 black plastic buckets. I'm going to show my workings on another show. It's cheaper to buy all that stuff than one cartridge of fresh Super 8. So that's something to think about. That's right. For the price of 1 cartridge of Super 8, you can buy an expired cartridge and everything you need to develop it. Maybe that will be on my next show, where I'm going to go into that. One more show. I don't have a guest for next week. Hey, anyone wants to be on it? Hit me up. And remember to go to Zero Budget Film School. Over there. .com. You can contact me, be on the show. We can hang out. We can chat. And I'm going to be hanging out. I don't know if you go to the YouTube, not the chat, the live chat. There's a different bunch of chat for after I've ended the stream. And anyone wants to talk to me, I'll be there hanging out like a sad person. But hey, it's a horrible weather tonight, so I've nowhere else to go. There's rain and viruses out there, so I'm sticking in here with all my Super 8 equipment. Thanks everyone for joining us and for joining me, and I've had a lot of fun. Go out and film, and people are saying thank you on the chat. Isn't that lovely? Including Manny Salazar. Thank you, Manny, again. And goodbye, everyone, and I'll see you next week.